Leave your entries in the subreddit pros, and I'll watch submissions in the next episode of Why.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Homecoming podcast.
Fireworks.
How are you doing? Hello, Tom.
Hello, Elliot, mate.
How are you doing?
I'm really good, actually,
Yeah?
Feeling good today for some reason.
For some reason. Right, what have you
Had a
been...
good sleep. Ready to podcast.
What have you been up to?
I've just been watching Money Heist all week. Everyone check it out. Last week it was, what did I say? Hollywood last week, wasn't it? This week it's Money Heist. Class.
Netflix.
I've watched about 3 seasons in 5 days.
Jeez. Wow. And
Good stuff.
yeah, there's that argument now that Netflix is the new Hollywood.
True.
Over, baby.
Every actor is caving into Netflix.
Caving in, yeah. Caving into the corrupt Netflix. Anyway, shall we go on and hit up with our first
Hang
title?
on, what are we talking about today,
I'm just
mate?
about... Give me a sec. But we're doing world issues today. So this is everything big in the world, you name it. Global warming, coronavirus. We've got all the answers. We're experts on
We've
everything.
got the answers. We're here.
Solve it all in this podcast. So yeah, I mean, we've got 5 different issues. We should have time for all of them, hopefully. If not, this will be a longer one. So yeah, so let's start it off. Our first title today is the one that everyone has been talking about. Everyone knows it. It's coronavirus. Number 1.
Oh no.
And it's surely going to go on for a long time more. Did you hear about Oxford? Was it Oxford or Cambridge?
Cambridge have said their online courses till January.
Yeah.
The
No,
thing
they said the
though
whole
with
year.
that, huh?
One of them said the whole year. Yeah.
I thought, well, it's because they've got international students, so it's risky.
It is risky,
Hopefully-
but at the same time, it seems a bit over-exaggerated to me. I mean,
I'm especially because we're both wanting to go back in September. It's like, can we not? Can we just?
especially for you, because you'll have your freshers as well, and that's
Yeah.
a lot of fun. So
Yeah, it's all shit.
exactly, and I'll be coming back as the dad, part 2 freshers. Yeah. So coronavirus, eh? When's the second wave coming? When's it gonna strike down again?
Talking about a second wave. I think the second wave would come if they abolish lockdown, but I don't think they're going to do that. They're going to ease lockdown.
You've seen like people going out in like Brighton, and like there's that meme about that guy who's just like saying that no one should be outside, and he's outside just with his ice cream.
I haven't seen that.
Oh,
But yeah, people are just people do not care.
Yeah.
Huh?
He says like, in my opinion, no one should go out, and he's just out there just with his whole family. It's ridiculous.
Oh really?
Sorry,
I
what
saw
were
a
you-
video yesterday of like a beach, and it was full, and there was just a policeman like, what the fuck do I do?
Mm.
Kind of annoying. And I'm starting to see people on their stories meeting people, and that's fine. Like I'm all for that, 2 meters apart. But I've seen people like arms around each
A
other.
bit
And
of like saltiness.
I'm a bit salty. I can't see anyone. And I'm just like, if you're going to break the law, basically, do it privately. Don't put it on your story. Do you know?
If you're gonna break the law, at least be sneaky about it. You are, though.
But they're the reason we won't have a summer, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it will just come back to bite people later. I guess it shows your kind of willpower if you can hold on, or you're gonna crack straight away. But
I mean, I've literally seen my family now for about 10 weeks, and that's it.
I know, literally. Same.
Maybe I've seen the neighbour, and that's about it.
Yeah, literally. And it's like after time, you start to get more and more like irritated with each other. And I mean, it might be different for you because you haven't got any siblings with you. But when you're with your brother as well.
I got my brother. He's here.
Oh, he's here. Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, but he's at work still, so it's fine.
Yeah. I feel like almost when you're at home with your siblings, you kind of go back like 2 years, and that pettiness and those kind of things just start to come up again. It's like, I
Yeah.
I left home for a reason, like, you know,
Literally.
I want to get out.
Yeah, we're not too bad because a lot of my family still work. So it is mainly just me on my own most of the day, or my dad works from home. So it's quite calm actually. We just see each other in the evening.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like normal life.
my
and I
parents
don't-
are all at home, so they're literally like it's 24/7,
Yeah, that is quite a lot for 10 weeks.
and they're quite like, you know, oh Elliot, go out and, you know, go in the garden, do some stuff like this, or oh Elliot, why are you not like exercising, or
Leave me alone.
man. But yeah, we should get back on topic really. If we're talking about it in like a kind of, not just us, as a whole country, what is the kind of moment, when do you think, how long do you think it will be before we actually should be going out and going back to normal? Because you said about the phasing, I mean, when's the point where it will get to the point where we can now, everyone's is pretty much the same as it was before coronavirus?
Before coronavirus, I think that's going to be years away, like economy-wise.
Oh yeah, economy-wise, yeah.
But like, hopefully in a year or something, because I just don't think we can do that. I mean, I guess we have to, but the economy can't work. And if the economy can't work, people can't work, and then people can't live. And it's just, I think once they find a vaccine, which they said January earliest.
Yeah.
But if they do find one and that will like literally like an injection and you've lost it, imagine that. Like, fine, you'd get it, you go to hospital, you'd lose it.
I think the problem is as well is an economy is a moving system and it has loads of different parts, almost like a human body, and you can't just keep chucking money at it. The government can't keep throwing money at it and just hope that it stabilizes. Like eventually you're going to have to pay back that money. Well, if you're like America, you never pay back it as a $20 trillion debt. But if you're like us and you need to get out of a recession eventually, we're going into a depression now. Recession's supposed to be getting out of it, but we're going into a depression. It's pretty bad. And yeah, it's not a good set of circumstances.
No, but I mean, personally, like I'm going into the theatre industry, and the theatre.
You're about to say personally, I'm going into a depression.
But yeah, I'm going into theatre industry. That is fucked now. Like obviously, it's at risk. So I was talking to my friends. Obviously, I'm going drama school, and if you're third year drama school, I feel so bad because they're going into an industry that is just ruined.
Yeah,
like, you can't operate for at least a year, in my opinion. Oh. Whereas lucky, I've got 3 years to train, and then I'll be in the industry. So I've got it kind of all right. But even still, I think that
it probably would have recovered by that, or semi-recovered. Because think about how many like amateur like productions are going to get cut, like all that kind of extra stuff. I mean, you obviously know best, but
I mean, there's a lot of, I've read an article yesterday, there's a lot of theatres around the country, like the White Rock, for example, which may have to close because they can't afford to stay open with no money coming in. Because obviously they have to pay all the workers still on furlough and pay the rent and pay the electricity, I assume, even though it's not being used. They can't afford it, so they're just going to have to close, which is really sad. It's all shit.
It is really shit.
But hopefully it should start lifting in the next few weeks or month or two. Because I need to see friends soon. It's getting a bit ridiculous. And not just see them 2 meters apart. I need a hug or something, you know?
This is a call for help. Blink 10 times if you need to get out.
Boris, please.
Exactly. Yeah, it is really shit, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I still think how crazy it is. And I think back, like I keep getting memories on Snapchat of like a year ago at parties or...
Yeah, literally same. I'm like, how were we not 2 meters apart when that was taken?
Yeah, I saw a video. I was watching a video yesterday of Hastings Carnival Week when I was on one of the floats, and it was honestly just packed. Like the streets were packed.
Anxiety.
Yeah, I was like, well, you couldn't have that now.
No way.
But
it's sad as well because so many things that have been going on for like 100, 200 years, for the first time ever, they can't go on for another year, you know?
Yeah.
It's so sad to think that.
A lot of different things. So with if there's going to be a second wave, there might be. I thought there was going to be, but I don't know anymore. Like,
I really think there will be, 100%.
I think there will be.
Yeah, I think people are just getting too lax already and just going out seeing mates. I mean, probably a lot of the time. You see, they said there was something that one in every, what was it? One in every 4 Londoners had coronavirus, something like that. I heard recently. And then
Really?
in our place, it's like 1 in every 40. It's like crazy numbers. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah,
I saw something the other day on a news report saying there were no new corona cases in London for 24 hours.
So I don't know. I'm getting hit with all these different. Probably
Yeah, I didn't.
probably like half of it's fake anyway. But I swear that was, I don't know. I might be completely wrong on that, but I saw something like that. It was either like 1 in 4, or maybe it was 1 in 40 for London and 1 in 400 for here. That would make more sense. But yeah, it's crazy anyway. Even if it is 1 in 40 in London, that's pretty amazing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You said 1 in 4 in London.
I said that, but now thinking about it, it's probably...
That's like 1 a household.
Yes. Everyone's got it. Closed down. Remember that weird thing as well? Because before quarantine, I got told by loads of people in my flat, oh, London's going to get quarantined first, and then it will be the UK. But that never happened. It was everyone quarantined straight away.
I just don't think you could do just one part because people travel like every day. You don't realise how much people travel.
I think the thing was though that they kind of locked down, try and contain London, and then because in the rural areas there's so fewer people, you know.
I just remember February, I think it was like the 3rd case of coronavirus confirmed in Brighton, I think it was actually, and I was just like, oh my god, there's 3 now, whereas now there's obviously like 200,000 or something.
Yeah.
It's all of
When the first ones come, it's the real scary ones. But then a lot of the time, people are in the back of their mind, they're like, oh no, 3, but they're thinking, oh, it's only 3, you know.
Literally, I was like that.
Big. You know, I'm not going to be locked down for months on end.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Do you think if you'd known about Corona coming like a couple of weeks before, what would have you done differently? Like, because if you were like, oh, friends, all meet up now, like everyone would have been like, oh, it's fine, we've got all of summer to meet up, you know. Would have you done a binge of like eating in restaurants and stuff like that?
Well, see, I would have done like a mix of like working a lot to make money because obviously I'm not making any money now. So I want to, but I can't. But also trying to see people as much as I can. It's a hard mix. I probably just would have appreciated things a lot more. Yeah. Because I couldn't stop working. And obviously if I want to see friends, that's good. But I couldn't do loads of activities because I just lose loads of money.
Yeah, that's true.
I would have gone to see a show or something though because I miss seeing shows.
Yeah, the YouTube live one's not cutting it.
I barely watched any.
Oh, really?
I don't actually think I've watched any because I've either watched them before or I'm just depressing.
I watched the Les Mis one.
What, the concert one?
Yeah.
You had to buy that?
My parents did, so.
That's cool. Was it good?
Yeah, it was all right, actually. Yeah, it was good.
Fair enough. Right, do you want to keep talking about Corona or should we go on something else?
Yeah, well, why don't we move on to, this one will be a bit bigger because this is the one about trillionaires. So obviously today we've got people like Jeff Bezos who have now, their incomes increased by 24 billion since coronavirus. You know, it's amazing how I can pull these stats straight out of my head. 24 billion, and people like that, they could do amazing things. They could probably contribute huge amounts towards stopping coronavirus, yet they're still like just stacking up the coins or the cash in their own private islands.
I mean, people like that could literally do so much for so many different things, not just Corona. And I was talking to my friend about it the other day, like apparently he's going to be a trillionaire by 2020 something, which is really impressive. And I think
he'll be the first one.
You physically don't need $1 trillion or pounds or whatever. So I think he should scrap that, because if he's trying to be a trillionaire because of status and
bragging rights,
he could just donate a lot of the money, still be a billionaire, but people would like respect him so much more because he's saved like so many different, he's donated so much money to so many different things. Like Bill Gates, I believe, donates a lot of money to things. So you kind of respect the guy.
Yeah.
Whereas Jeff Bezos, I literally don't hear shit. Also, I think he avoids tax and stuff, and it's like,
yeah. Amazon paid like $0 in tax in like 2016 because it was all offshore. So they paid nothing. So the American government just doesn't really care, to be honest. I think they haven't really cracked down on it at all. And it's not just Amazon as well. Amazon was obviously the big one because they made so much money, but tons of American companies are doing this. But yeah, it's weird thinking. I don't know why. I guess in his mindset, he wants to be the first person, the first human in history to get to that landmark. Because you can be like, oh, well, I was the first trillionaire ever. And even if after him, I doubt it will be another 100 years probably until someone else did it. Actually, maybe not because of like, exploring the space more, we'd be able to get more money from that because the amount of you can buy on that is incredible. The amount you can sell like space materials for. But that's a different topic. But yeah, I think it's just crazy like how he just doesn't really do that. He just kind of invests more. He's a businessman at heart. He's not really kind of has that kind of human side to him, I guess.
Well, it's just I just don't get it. You either have this one status and then you reach it and it'd be like, I'm a trillionaire, or he could literally donate so much to so many different. He could like solve world hunger with a few billion and still be so fine. Like,
yeah, but it's that idea, like I want to keep being the best. It's like when you're anything. If you're good at that one thing, if you're like, I don't know, LeBron
he's not
James.
good at anything. Just good at sitting around
He's
nowadays
good at
and
making money
coming
though.
into his bank.
He's good at making money though. He knows.
Well, no, he's not. He's not anymore. He's literally just formed a business which people obviously use every day because it's a shop that has everything on it.
But they keep adapting it though, and he's not only got that. He's also got Amazon Blue, is it? His space company, or Blue Horizon, something, whatever it's called. And then he's got loads of different industries. Like these kind of, if have got his much money, like Elon Musk, you have SpaceX, you have Tesla, you've got he sold PayPal, stuff like that. He's got tons of companies, and he's got the boring company, stuff like that.
Yeah, I know, but I just think they could just use it for
Yeah.
Because I saw my friend sent me this chart of like the medium income of a household in America is like 60,000, and then that was like a little pixel. Then it was like 1 million was this much, and then 100 million was like this much, and then Jeff Bezos is in 140 billion at the moment was literally like
yeah.
I couldn't even swipe it all. It was too long. It was crazy.
It's mad to think. And yeah, you think what do they do with that money? Just sit on it pretty much. That's all they do. It literally sits in a bank account when it could be used. Think about how much a person in like Africa makes as well a day. What, like less than probably $1, maybe $1 a day, $1, I don't know, in some really poor places, what, a couple of dollars a week. It's amazing to think how much that is like to an American person, even like a normal American person compared to someone in, the Democratic Republic of Congo who's living off like 50 cents every few days. It's incredible.
Yeah, they just sit on it because another friend told me that Jeff Bezos can't spend as much as he earns. He earns too much money that he physically, unless he bought like something that was billions of pounds in one purchase, he couldn't spend it. So he's always making more. So, yeah. And what I said to them, imagine when he was like, I know that he worked at McDonald's when he was 18. There's like a famous thing like you can, whatever. Imagine when he was 18, he'd probably saved loads of money to buy a laptop or computer, which was like hundreds of dollars. Whereas now he could literally buy like the whole of Dell, and it like that.
Mean anything? It stops meaning. Like,
yeah, and that just must feel so. And also, didn't he like get divorced and then lose loads of money? But
yeah, his wife became the richest woman in the world for marrying him.
That's class.
But then she donated a bunch of it, so then she didn't want to be the richest woman. But there you go. It shows that's probably why they're divorced, because she was a good person and he wasn't.
Yeah, literally. It shows women are the...
Exactly. We're going to be insulting Jeff Bezos, and then he's going to buy up YouTube and take us off.
Oh no. Our careers.
It's the Homecoming podcast. What happened?
Yeah, like he doesn't get enough backlash anyway. 2 19-year-olds from East Sussex.
Exactly. I'm sure he gets a lot more than that. It's crazy thinking about that. Not only trillionaires, obviously there aren't any at the moment, but billionaires as well. But I guess he made was it the first? I can't remember if his company Amazon was the first to get to $1 trillion value, or it was.
I think that's Apple, isn't it?
Apple, yeah.
I think Apple has.
But then I think he overtook. Yeah.
I think Apple has because people buy so many different Apple things, and Apple products are at least like 200 minimum. Whereas a lot of obviously Amazon stuff it varies.
Definitely.
And obviously a MacBook is like $1.5 grand.
Did you see that stupid, like the stand is like $1 grand to buy the new? Oh, it's so stupid. Yeah.
I want one because they're lush, but I could never afford them in the next few years with my student income and stuff.
They're overpriced. Well, they're very overpriced. I think they're a waste of money, to be honest. You're
They're
just
overpriced, but they are nice. They're like, once you get one, like my friends got them and stuff, you use them, you're like, this is nice. But
yeah,
for a
but
grand,
the amount of money you spend on that, you could spend on an actual PC that you could make yourself or put in the parts, and it would be 2 times as fast.
yeah, but student-wise, people like having a small,
It's
carry around.
the whole like paying for the aesthetic as well, and also paying for like how accessible it is, how easy it is to steal your apps and everything like that, which is understandable. It's completely understandable. They're great at what they do. They make the best like accessible products for people to kind of get into, but it's just the price is so expensive. You're paying for that.
It's the logo nowadays. It's literally the Apple logo. Like, everyone, do you still have an iPhone, or you got that? You don't have an iPhone now, do you?
No, I don't have any more.
There you are. You look good now.
We're back, and yeah, back on track. We just had a bit of a robot-y moment, so sorry again. But yeah, let's go. What are we talking about?
We're talking about Apple and how people just want the logo nowadays.
Mm.
You look terrible.
Look, I was all right for a second there. I think I'm fine. But yeah, people just want the logo now, and it's become part of the thing.
like you. There we are. You don't really care about the logo.
No, I don't care about the clout. I'm fine.
Whereas I
you
quite
care a
like
little bit.
the logo.
Yeah, you're just a clout chaser. That's why.
Um,
No, I've got the S9, so that's even, I don't know. It works fine, so I can't really complain. Does
it
everything
works. It's good. See,
well,
I'm
it does everything better than Apple, so I don't see what the problem is. The only difference is the emojis, which are terrible, but
shocking.
No,
No, your camera's not as good either.
but it is compared to for the same price if you buy. You could get that for. I spent like what 300 on that because it was second hand. That's like the price of a 6, right? Or like the camera compared to that.
How much was yours?
That's what I paid pretty much for my 6, and
What,
I paid
for your Samsung. Oh yeah, and the 6.
my S9.
Well, no, you got your 6 and your
Everything
11.
in the 20, the S20. It's like the camera's like got like 100 times like zoom, and it's incredible.
Oh, what, on the Samsung?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, no, I haven't seen it, is what I'm saying.
Oh, no. I thought you were saying no, that's not true. That is true. The new...
That's not true. You're a liar.
No. Yeah. It's
I mean, I'm happy with this. This is the 8.
I'm not gonna be... As you know what? I hate when this whole debate is ridiculous.
Own photography,
Who
right?
cares? Whatever you want, just have what you want. Whatever makes you feel happy.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It's just I'm happy with this. I prefer a new one,
I'm
but
very happy with this.
I'm poor.
What do you
I'm
mean
a
you're
poor-
poor? You're paying more for that.
Yeah, but I bought this with, like, saved up money for, like, ages.
So? You'd be able to buy this and have lots more money.
Well, I don't need a new one.
Okay.
I just want a new iPhone, but I'm not going to get one. want the free
What makes
cameras.
it bad? This breaks up friendships, this debate.
You just said it doesn't matter.
Anyway, Samsung's are better. Let's move on.
It's not true.
Here. But yeah. You know what? The Hawaii, whatever the fuck it's called. the Hawaii is better. Huawei.
Hawaii.
The Hawaii is better. And you can give your information to the Chinese as well. So that's what makes it 10 times better.
To the who?
The Chinese.
Brilliant. Right, next topic.
That's the whole problem with them. All your stuff all your information's getting taken. Okay, let's move on. Oh, this is a really interesting one. So this kind of links to Jeff Bezos as well, because the whole, I think it is called Blue Origin. Something Blue.
I'm just going to Google it.
It's space company. And obviously,
You talk, I'll Google.
yeah. There's obviously been this whole kind of second space race with Blue Origin, with SpaceX. And I don't think really NASA's really involved anymore because it kind of just like buys the kind of spaceships and uses them. But it's really interesting because now there's this new kind of space race, and it's the whole thing about getting to Mars quickest. So
Blue Origin.
Yeah, Blue Origin. So SpaceX has managed to reuse a spaceship, which is pretty amazing. Oh yeah, Blue Origin, there you go. and Elon Musk has pioneered that. And there's been all these kind of things about, oh, who's going to get first to Mars? You know, all this kind of thing. Who's going to create a rocket that can get us to the next place? But it's really interesting, the kind of debate about, should space be privatized? Should NASA run everything and then it not be privatized? Or do you think these private companies can do it for cheaper, which they obviously can, because they've managed to reuse the spaceship, which is like, takes out 80% of the cost. And yeah, that's kind of the debate, really.
I think, well, NASA is a government-run
Yeah,
space
it's
program, right?
government, yeah.
Whereas like SpaceX and this Blue Origin is
It's
private,
all private.
right?
It's all private. Yeah.
Right. I don't know, really. I mean, I don't really have an opinion on it because space is, I have no interest like going or anything.
Really?
No.
I'm completely opposite. I think it's such a cool thing to kind of find new planets, to colonize a new planet would be so cool. Because we get hit by one, it won't, I've seen the chances and like, it's extremely low of us getting hit by like a massive asteroid or like something like that. But the chance is still there, or we kill ourselves more likely. We kill our own population.
You're doing it now.
Yeah, exactly. Or we get hit by a pandemic, something like this, which is far more deadly than coronavirus, or coronavirus like, you know.
Black Plague.
Exactly, like the bubonic plague. But I think it's be like, just for humankind to settle on a new planet would be incredible.
I don't know. I think Earth is made for humans, whereas every other, at least in our solar system, right?
Yeah.
There's no planet which can really. Is there? I'm not even sure. You're probably better at this.
Here's the thing, right? We've like through like telescopes and stuff like that, we've seen planets which could potentially be habitable. However, we're just seeing like tiny pixels of it. Like the amount you can see is because they're so far away. We'd never be able to get them. There's no chance in our lifetime ever we'd be able to get to them unless somehow we now manage to get like warp into space and stuff like that, warp drive or whatever. But that's so science fiction. Like, but anyway, it's in our lifetime, we're never going to get to these planets which so much potentially habitable. But there is a chance for us to get to Mars, and we could, with enough resources, and it would be basically like a really expensive way of living. But we could potentially live there.
What's the interest? I don't see the interest. You'd have to be in a suit all day or in a building that has oxygen.
Well, the interest is that then eventually down the line you could maybe manipulate gravity, and then you could have another world and you could grow another Earth on Mars, I guess. Or the interest is finding, it's like human kind of DNA wanting to find somewhere new or explore that whole part of being,
Yeah,
you know,
yes.
finding the next challenge for humankind. Because
I just think it's
so far on Earth. How far can you go on Earth before we can get robots, we can get this, that, before we want to move to the new horizon, you know, go to the next planet, do the next thing.
It's all just so much, in my opinion. Like you see them videos of like a bee, and then you zoom out the bee, and it's the town, and then it's the city, and then it's the country, and then it keeps going.
Scary. It's scary to see how small we are, because it really puts it into perspective.
It's actually mad. It makes me think of you saying about that, like we won't be in this lifetime where we could live on another planet.
Yeah.
It makes me think of different eras of history. Like we're like the, I don't know, 1940s to now is like a revolutionary technology era.
Yeah.
Whereas like 2200 to 2600, maybe like the space era, and then 2800 might be aliens coming into the same.
Yeah, completely. The strange thing is we called it the space age or the space race, which was like the 1960s where they were going to the moon and stuff like that.
Yeah, against the Soviets.
The communists versus the capitalists. It was all the race and everything like that. Since then, what have we really done? We've gone around. We haven't even gone back to the moon since then. We've landed like unmanned.
We have.
Yeah, but not any man missions since.
Yeah, there is.
Or has there been a couple? But
there's been like 11 people.
In the last like, I don't know, 30 years, we haven't done.
How many people walked on the moon?
I think they've had like Apollo 11, and then they've had a few more. But there was like one that crashed, and then loads of people died. Like Apollo 16 or whatever it was.
12 astronauts have walked on the moon.
I think really okay.
I would made it to the moon. Oh, it was quite a while ago though.
But it was like 30 or 40 years ago, right? The last one.
Yeah, it was like the 70s.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. 40 years ago. But it's crazy to think since then, since the 70s. Okay, since the 70s, we haven't done anything really in the moon or Mars or stuff like. We sent Mars rovers down, but we haven't done anything massive. Like we haven't dreamed that big. Like we're gonna get someone on Mars, you know.
Well, they've got the space station. That's like the big thing at the moment.
Yeah, I know it's big, but that was like, when was the space station even made? I don't know. That's so amazing. Thinking we've actually got a space station is pretty incredible to think that.
I mean, we don't. It's American, isn't it?
Well, it's all of them. It's
What
American.
do you mean Earth?
It's the-
It was launched on the 20th of November 1998, so 22 years ago.
That's so crazy.
That is weird. That's before the millennium.
Yeah, incredible. But since then, we haven't done anything.
I mean, that's what we think anyway. There might be a lot of secrets or something.
I feel like until recently, there hasn't been much public interest in going back to space. It's only been with SpaceX has really reignited that interest.
It just seems like such a far off thing for us poor people that we can't do anything about it. So it's kind of like a rich person's interest because they're the only ones who could actually really benefit from it or
That is
experience
true.
it.
It definitely brings up the argument, should we be looking for new things in space, or should we actually focus on our planet at the moment, which is currently dying and people are dying and stuff like that? It does definitely bring up the debate. The thing is, I want to argue and I want to say you can do both. You can, not only can you focus more on people who are poor, you could do both. If all the billionaires and trillionaires, obviously it's not going to happen, came together, all the countries came together, we could do both. We could put loads of money into space and solve pretty much all the issues we've got as humans.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't even want to talk about that because that's just not going to happen.
It makes me sad thinking about it. But yeah, it's, you know, that's something to think about, I think, definitely. We should strive towards it anyway. And we are making steps towards it. Like the amount of wars we've had in recent time compared to, you look at like the 1600s, there was never a year, let alone a month, where people weren't fighting in one part of the world. But nowadays we've got, 3 ongoing wars really? Syria?
Yeah, it's nothing really.
Parts of Africa. It's
Considering
great.
we started 2020 with like...
No, but compared to in history, it's pretty amazing how we have gone. We're making the right steps. I think it's easy just to be like, oh, you know, the Earth's completely gone to shit. You know, everyone's fighting all the time. But compared, we've got a United Nations. That whole idea, we've got an internet. It couldn't have even been conceived.
The internet's weird in my opinion, if we wanted to talk about that.
Yeah. The
fact that you can literally, like, something happens somewhere, someone types it into a social media platform, then anyone in the world can see it in that second.
Even what we're doing now, like, even though we're only, live 20 minutes away or 15 minutes away, we can do this from the, you know, from our
Well, I did a Zoom call with my family who lives in Canada.
Exactly. There you go. It's amazing.
Like, it's weird. And the weird thing is, like, I'm on my laptop. That's not connected to anything. So it's literally just...
Self-contained. Yeah.
I find that, like, where is it? You know, is it in the...
Where is the Wi-Fi?
Am I touching it now? It's like my phone, right? I can do anything.
Phones are crazy.
People, like FaceTime.
Yeah.
Stuff.
So self-contained. It's amazing.
What is this?
Ooh, it's like black magic.
Ooh, it's floating.
Yeah, it's like crazy. This is crazy.
I'm not... That's why all the sciencey part of it just doesn't interest me because it's too over my head. I'm quite an intellectual.
We're double science. We're fucking stupid, all right? Atom,
for sure.
array. What is this? Space come together.
I only got a B. It's all too much. I leave that for the other.
We got an A.
You got an A?
Yeah.
In science?
Yeah.
You got an A?
I got an A.
What about in the year 10 science?
No, I got an A in the year 10 one. That's what I mean.
What about the year 11 one?
I got a B in the year 11 one.
Joking, I got a B in year 10, C in year 11, so... I did revise the night before, but...
Yeah, why are we even flexing on our science grades? We did double anyway. Let's humble ourselves a second. Let's humble ourselves. But it was good achievements, though. What do you think, then, about the kind of conspiracy, then? The moon landing. It's all fake. It was done.
I think it's real. I think that's genuinely real. Someone said to me the other day, I don't think it's real. And I was like, really? I just think it's genuine.
Yeah.
Like they did one before. What was it? Apollo 13 did they go up, or was it Apollo 11?
I don't know the name, so I wouldn't be able to tell you.
One. They did one before it, and it blew up, and everyone died or something.
Mm.
But then they did it again.
The movie's about, yeah.
So
Apollo 11 was the one where they actually got to moon. I think it was 13 where they all died, but I don't quote me on that.
as a film,
Whatever.
I just think it's real. I don't think they could lie that. Well, they could lie, but I think it's real.
Especially as you've got all this stuff now about these people can't just disappear, like going into space. We see the rocket going up, like it's like the whole flat Earth thing, isn't it? It's like you can see pictures of of the Earth being not flat and stuff like that. Oh, you could be like, oh, I don't believe it. It's just a picture. It could be done in Photoshop, but still, come on, like. I think we think that governments are smarter than they actually are a lot of the time, and you got to remember that it is people who are doing this.
I see, like Buzz Aldrin, for example, is still alive, and he always goes on about it. Like, I've been on the moon. I just don't think he could lie his whole. I take it back. Someone could lie their whole life.
I think that one person would have, if it had been done, one person would have given it up. Like if there had been like a photographer, or you've got to have lighting, people like that who were making this moon landing happen, making it fake. You would have had so many people involved, and one of them would have said something. It's ridiculous.
It's like a movie, spoilers, isn't it?
Exactly.
You can't hold that for 50 years.
The thing is, you've got to remember as well, there's going to be these conspiracy theories for anything that happens. You could be like, this could be a conspiracy theory right now. This could not actually be happening. Oh, it's a simulation anyway, You can say that, but then you start questioning everything, and it just becomes ridiculous.
Yeah, so I just tend to believe things unless it has a strong factor that it could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, it hasn't. I think people just like to test people's brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheers.
Well, yeah, just to fake moon landing. But it's amazing how big it gets. These things get. I do think we should always question what the government is doing. Don't get me wrong. You should always be able to scrutinize your government 100%. But I don't think that you should stuff like the moon landing, especially when it's like an organization like NASA that's should be, focused on just doing one thing. I mean, the problem is that NASA was political back in the 60s. It was to beat the Russians, but nowadays, like, there's been so much since then that we've done. It can't all be fake. It's ridiculous, I think.
Yeah. Another topic. Another topic of space. Aliens are real?
Yeah. I think it's not like we think, though. It's not all green aliens. I think there's just like there's like little particles or little bacteria living on some planet far away that exist. I
just think there's too many, like I said earlier, that thing where it's zoomed out. There's too many different galaxies and Milky Ways and shit that there couldn't be that there isn't life on another one.
Also, the universe is expanding as well.
Yeah.
So there's more chance every single day. I don't know how big it's expanding. We don't even know. We sing from such a small.
I mean, I don't look into it, but thinking about how complex we are,
yeah,
we're also quite basic in a way. I think there must be something.
We're all basic bitches. If you really go down,
or just white hose. There must be something somewhere else which is not similar, but
that brings up the argument about, we're also complex. Does God exist? That kind of argument. But that can be for another podcast. I think that's going too far.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, that was a big topic. Yeah, I feel like we could talk about that for ages, really. I want to go one more thing as well. Going back to the kind of privatized part about it, do you think that these new up and coming space companies should really be the first ones to get to like Mars and start because you know what they're going to do? They're going to get there and then they're going to set up like mining colonies and stuff like that and start taking vast amounts of resources and then shipping it back to Earth and selling it off. Do you think that's good, or do you think it should be governments that do that and then use that money to give back to the people? You're gonna have multi-trillionaire people if we start mining space. It's unfathomable how much money you can make.
What would they mine? Just space rock?
Well, there's the stuff like planets compared to our planet. There's like a whole fresh new planet full of resources, And a lot of these new planets, like the actual surface could be like iron and like resources that we have in short supply here, but there's like infinite, supply. This whole planet's made out of like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's like I was watching Black Panther the other day. It's like a rock came from Black Panther and it had these special things.
Vibranium.
Well,
Yeah.
That might be on it might be the case.
But there could be some crazy material that we haven't even found yet that's super durable and super light at the same time. They can't
like a metal or something.
only an infinite amount. Not an infinite, and only a limited amount. A finite.
It should be privatized.
Yeah, because you could have whole planets run by a business. It could be future Jeff Bezos running his own planet, and you know what? The Earth says, "Oh, you can't. We're going to tax you on this." He's like, "Well, fuck you. I'm going to fire my missiles that I've got on my new planet. I'm going to turn my planet into like a, like a Death Star." Yeah, exactly. You know what? It points his gun at Earth. If you put that tax on me, Earth's just like, shit, we out. Then it will become like that stupid new film they have where every city is like moves. It just starts like running away.
Fucking hell, that took a turn.
It like turns into like Star Wars.
I think if that happened, there need to be a government in charge of all the planets.
Yeah.
That we obtain.
They got weapons of mass destruction on this planet. Everyone, let's go in and get them. Become like
yeah. It's such a thing that we've just never had to deal with. Like, it was probably the same when they were finding different countries. They were like, do we own this? Do we own that? It's like colonization and owning different. The only difference is,
100%.
with different countries, we could breathe on them. We could go to them. Whereas these new planets, you can't just sail on a boat made out of wood and get to them. You need like a fucking billionaire spaceship, and you need equipment, and you need. It's going to take years to get there, or months, or whatever. I don't know how long it takes. It's too far fetched.
Yeah, but it will. Think about what we've achieved in the last 100 years, right? How we've come so far in terms of space. The space race has only been really the last 100 years. Think about what we could do in 500 years.
It's only been the last 50 years.
We've got a space station. We've been on planets. We've now made reusable rockets. We've got cargo that can go to different parts of the the world. We've sent a thing that's flied off into space, which is sent about What do you think about that as well? About we've sent there's that video, isn't there, that says Stephen Hawking said we shouldn't have done it. That had we're humans. This is where we live. And sent it off into space.
Oh, yeah. I think that's cool. It probably didn't cost too much.
Let the aliens come and find us.
Come on,
become enslaved.
We all just blame Jeff Bezos. Like, you fucked us. You fucked us.
But it wasn't even Jeff Bezos, though. This is like NASA sending this off.
Oh, I just assumed.
This is like the 70s or something, or the 80s.
Yeah, we'll just blame Jeff anyway. Come on.
Jeff Bezos, you fucked us. Yeah.
Should we talk about something else? Because then
let's move on. That was good though. That was good. We had a conversation for so long on that because we normally skip through like crazy. But since this is the Homecoming podcast improving. Do you want to do global warming or do you want to do AI first?
I think we've only got time for one more, mate.
I think AI is more exciting. Well, actually,
let's do AI because then we can talk because that's more like robotics and stuff. We can talk about global warming another time.
Okay. Do you think we're all going to become unemployed due to AI?
No, I physically don't because there's too many jobs that AI can't do because there's human instinct which needs to be done, mainly like customer service and stuff. Obviously, robots can do it, but like, oh no, sorry, barbers and shit. I just think it's a job where there's like a personal touch to it, and I would prefer someone to do it for me. I don't want a robot so I would always go for a person.
Yeah. Well, I as I was saying before I cut out, I would disagree because I think you can program a robot with so many different things, so many voice commands and stuff like that. And you think about the sensors as well. It could cut straight down to the sensor. I mean, as you were saying, the whole cutting hair bit would be fine, but even the talking bit as well, like you could program it to say so many things. And I think a lot of people now are a lot more like antisocial than they used to be back in the day. They're on like don't really have the social skills now. So I think that they don't really talk to their hairdresser anyway. I think that kind of the whole role of them talking and having a chat with them has kind of become more of a redundant thing now. I feel like back in the day, you'd always talk to your barber and you catch up on the latest gossip or whatever, that kind of thing. I think today now, you're so disconnected with the community. You go in there, you say, oh, I want this, I want a 2 on the side or whatever. And then you have the cut. I mean, obviously me and you were more sociable than most, so we'd be able to talk to them. But I think a lot of people now would say, oh yeah, can I have this? And then they just sit there in silence. They cut their hair, say, oh, thanks a lot, mate. Here's the tenner. I'm off. You know.
To be fair, I did used to do that when I was younger. I'm better now, but I enjoy like talking to people. I wouldn't want, like, I'm all for Siri. Well, I don't even use Siri. I'm all for like Alexa. I think that's quite cool to say like, can you do this? Can you do that? But it's just so many things. I prefer people. Like, I enjoy human contact, especially after all this. I'd love to sit on the barbers and have a chat.
Yeah.
So I think there are many jobs where AI could take over. I just think there's also many jobs that it isn't necessary when it just isn't necessary.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. Decent. Right. Well, good discussion. We had some good points today. I feel like it was more of something that was, I feel like it was more of like an educated chat than what we normally do. But that's nice. I think it's good to have variety anyway. And yeah, thanks a lot for coming along again, as ever. And what is the thought of the day?
Is it a thought or is it a suggestion?
The thing is, well, as I said that, I thought, should it be a thought of the day? Should it not be a thought of the day? Should it be a word of advice? Advice. What's your advice for today?
If you're feeling down, say to yourself 3 things that you love about yourself.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah,
Got you.
You heard it here first on the Homecoming podcast. Thank you for listening. If you made it this far, you get what do you get if you made it this far? You get our undying love and support. Yeah, thank you for listening. Goodbye, Tom.
Bye, Elliot.